It's a damn hot day here in Morphett Vale, Adelaide. It's the perfect time to jump into my local IGA to grab a cool drink. But this IGA is not only Australian owned and a family business, they've also gone green. Well, Nick, Daniel, it's great to be here in what is a family-owned business. Tell us about Morphett Vale and your supermarket.
We've had the business for 7 years now. We've really tried to be a community store. Community's always been a big thing for us. And Dad used to work for Metcash, which is the parent company of IGA. I used to work for other independent retailers, so naturally I wanted to own my own business, and yeah.
So it's a family business and they brought you back in, so no retiring here, mate. They're going to keep making you work.
No, I officially did retire.
Right.
Until we decided to buy
pulled
this.
him back out.
And now I'm working harder than I ever have in my life. Even though I'm only here for 4 or 5 days a week, but it helps them. I want to see them do well and succeed.
Well, 4 or 5 days a week. I think in the supermarket game, it's a long journey.
It's part-time for us.
Yeah. So 7 days a week you're open.
Yep,
here.
we are. 7 a.m. till 10 p.m.
And it's a family suburb. I can see lots of houses.
100%.
It's really suburbia here, so there's not a lot of commercial. This is the hub for
No, that's right. This is the hub. Yep. This is a local hub. Yep.
I know because I started my working life in a supermarket, the precursor to IGA packing shelves. There's a nice community feel in a supermarket, but lights are on all the time. You've got all these fridges, so I know you're consuming lots of energy. Talk us through that energy consumption.
Okay, yep. With fridges, like you said, it's a really big electricity bill, $10,000 a month actually.
Wow.
And with all the talk of being sustainable, we wanted to do something. We found out that we're burning the equivalent of 23 tonnes of coal a year. It's a pretty scary number. Dad met a guy called Raj from Solar Ring.
Solar Ring. He's, well, apart from Raj, there were several others, but after dealing with Raj, he was straight to the point. He was good to deal with. Everything he said was exactly as it turned out, and he offered us some opportunities. If you do this and you do this, specifically getting batteries, plus 130 odd panels, your opportunity to save X amount is going to be there. So to make money, you'll save money, you have to spend money. So we went down that track, and we're very satisfied now after 3 months.
I think it's a journey that we go through in the residential market. It's an investment, and it's hard for all of us to think about that as our energy consumption. Costs of it is going up, but how we source that energy is changing.
Yep.
It's a big investment, but when you're running a business, it is definitely an investment. It's an outlay, and you can see immediate results. So 3 months now you've been going here. How's it turned around?
Well, by looking at it, somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. Now, we're not in the peak of summer with the sun shining all the time. We have quite a few days of overcast and all the rest of it, but at this stage, very happy. And we're looking at probably 2.5 to 3 years return on investment.
That's very impressive.
That's good. And the good times are yet to come. So through the summer all the way through to Easter, I think it's going to get a lot better.
Of course, as it gets hot around the country, we want crisp vegetables, we want cold drinks, we want ice creams, we want things cold in our homes. So the demand for that's going up, and obviously the cost to run those machines increases in the hot season.
Look, and the other thing too is we're looking at changing out some of our refrigeration and going to a better sustainable source of refrigeration. And I think with the solar and batteries, it's only going to help.
Daniel, it must be interesting for you. You're in this collaboration with your brother, and then you got the dad. Now,
that's right.
Family businesses can be amazingly successful or sometimes complicated because of the makeup of all the different voices. You've got a lot of wisdom here. I can hear him speaking.
100%.
How's that gone for you, listening to the advice and
it's gone really well. Like me and my brother, we lean on each other a lot, but having my dad there has been really helpful. Doesn't get too involved, but whenever we want to ask something, he's really got good advice, and he's been in the industry for his whole life. So, yeah, good solid advice. Yeah.
As far as putting the solar panels, you've got them up on the roof above the shop. It's a big footprint.
That's right.
How many kilowatts have you got and how many panels, do you know?
Yep, I do. It's a 60 kilowatt system. We've got about 130 panels.
Wow.
Yeah, and batteries, we have 100 kilowatts of batteries. Yeah.
100 kilowatts.
100 kilowatts, yeah.
And if I'm correct, that's working, is that sort of almost providing roughly half of the energy consumption? Is it about that sort of figure?
It'd be somewhere, because we burn about 140 kilowatts a day, that stores 100, and depending on the cycle, once it's full, it starts to release energy that we're using, and it would probably save us 8 to 9 hours a day, or call it free power.
So we are investing in getting more batteries. We just started the process of that. And I think now with the batteries, we used to have the mentality of we want to save money or sell money back. Right now, we just want to be self-sufficient, because that's probably the best saving we're going to get.
I think that's a great adage, Daniel, to be able to think about sort of saving the money to be able to build up, put it in the, put the nuts in the tree, so to speak, in a business. But I wonder how it's been received by the community too, because it's good for everyone coming here to shop to realise that their local place where all their food, fruit and veg is coming from, is also making such a big leap in sustainability.
That's right.
Well, some customers, they ask you about, is it working for you and all the rest of it. And some of these people probably haven't thought about solar or battery, but in a smaller scale, so we're talking households here. So they ask questions, is it working for you? So they want real life information, not give them that. And all of a sudden they're thinking, oh, it's not bad, maybe a 10 kilowatt system for home and 25 panels, you'll save money.
As far as putting sort of sustainable practices in place, it's easy for someone to walk in and say, why don't you have doors and containing that refrigeration, but that really impacts the shopping experience. Everything has to be on show. So you're sort of stuck with this open model anyway, aren't you? Addressing that, the consuming of power, but also having all that cool air run through the shop.
Yeah. Well, this time of year, it's good to have the cool air running through the shop, but you are wasting a lot. But somewhere down the track, and not too distant future, where this refrigeration will be changed, go to doors, which is the modern way of doing things, and I think that'll eventually just help lower the bill, and your footprint in how much power you use.
What I love hearing your story is that you're talking about a big investment. It is a big investment. A normal house might have 10, 11. I've got 11 on my own roof, 11 kilowatts. You've got 60, like it's 6 houses, It's a big investment, but you're already starting to realise the money, once it's paid itself off in a few years' time, you're able to see that money that's left over then can go into transforming the
100%.
business, which is going to have further savings. That's really an exciting opportunity.
And it's not like saving nickels and dimes, because the money you save once the system's paid off, okay, it's in positive area at the moment. All that's going to be extra, which you can then pick it up and reinvest back into your business. And the thing is, you've got to reinvest in these businesses, otherwise you get left behind.
Yes.
Okay?
Well, it's nice. We don't want a duopoly. We want many players. We want many players in the fruit and veg and the food market. I'm wondering, as far as the space, you've got a nice big footprint here to put solar panels on the top.
Yep.
As far as the location for batteries, how did that work for you? Was that a tricky sort of discussion of where the batteries were going to go, the storage?
At first, yes, until we got Raj from Solar Ring involved.
Yeah,
And,
Raj suggested that we go with a GoodWe system, and it's proven to be really successful. It's out the back. They provided a cage to go around, which is great. 100 kilowatts, 4 stacks. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a normal residential location where it might be in the garage on the side of a house. You've also got trucks and forklifts and lots of people moving, so it has to be not to make sure it's not stolen, but to protect it from moving the moving parts of your business.
That's right.
Correct, and it is pretty well protected at the moment. So if you have a runaway car or a truck, we're pretty safe. They're going to be, anyway, they're insured.
I'm wondering how you feel now, 3 months down the track. There was obviously a bit of discussion leading up to the stage. Let's commit. We've done the sums. We know it's going to work for us. Were any of you a little bit reticent at the beginning, and how do you feel now?
No, I think we were both ready for it. We've been shopping around for quite a while, and it was the right time. Power prices were high enough to just really make us move, and I think it was a good decision. No looking back. Yeah.
And the other thing, power's not, if you had a crystal ball, great, but I can't see it going down. It's only going to keep going up. And if you don't bite the bullet sooner or later, you're going to be caught in this wave of higher prices and all the rest of it. Can't run a business on that. Because sometimes you have to wear the costs. You can't just be putting prices up because some of your costs have gone up. You've got to be, I suppose, sympathetic to the community also.
Yeah.
And we try to offer the best price. As long as you can, everybody's got to make money, but you just got to be fair about it. And the biggest increases you're seeing to have nowadays is power.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to be able to be aware of, we all want to be doing sustainable things. We all want to feel like we're doing the right thing. But the bottom line is, especially with a business, the dollars have to stack up. And in here, you're running a family business. You're also a local employer.
Yep.
It's a big decision. It has to work.
Yeah. Look, being a local employer, we employ roughly 20, and we only employ local.
Yep.
And if our costs start going up and all the rest of it, and you can't get that bottom line, the first thing you've got to look at is reducing staff numbers. We don't want to do that because these kids some of them have been with us, been in this business 15 years in this business, longer than what we've owned it.
Yeah.
They've grown up through the system, and you just want to look after these people. And their families shop here and all the rest of it. Ultimately, we want to do the right thing by the community.
I remember my brother and myself as kids, we used to love being able to go through the fresh fruit and veggie section and the dairy because it was always cold on a really summer's day. You've got the door there where everyone comes in. At least now if they come here and linger for a little while, you don't care because it's being paid for from 100%. The sun.
And the more they linger, the more they spend.
Dean, it's great to see you again, mate, and you know that I love speaking about solar, but I reckon this is the most batteries that I've seen in one place. Tell us about this system.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable system here. I guess one of the differences with this system is that you do have 102.4 kilowatt hours of battery. So the system itself, they've probably mentioned before, 60 kilowatts of panel with a 30 kilowatt hybrid inverter. One of the benefits of this hybrid is that you can oversize it by 200%. So that's what we mean by 60 kilowatts of panel with the 30 kilowatt hybrid, which is really, really unique. And then you've got 102.4 kilowatt hours of battery. So you can see here that we've got 4 stacks of 8 modules each. Every module is 3.2 kilowatt hours. And in a nutshell, what it's going to do is offset the nighttime usage with the batteries.
Now, Dean, I love that you can just smile and rattle off all these facts and figures, but to dumb it down a little bit for me, what I need to understand is you've got the solar panels on the roof, but here we've got a business that's running 7 days a week. Those fridges have to run 24 hours. So the batteries are enabling you to store all of that power so that you've got a 24-hour system.
Yeah, absolutely. You want a little bit more PV to offset what you're using during the day so that you can charge your batteries. And then at night time when the sun goes down, instead of feeding back into the grid and getting paid 5 cents, which we know is hardly anything, you're better off storing in your battery and you're effectively saving 45 cents for every kilowatt that you store in your battery, so it's really a no-brainer.
Obviously, I have a better understanding of solar and batteries from a residential point of view. It's what I work in myself. But for commercial, of course I understand it's vitally important. You're dealing with larger amounts of consumption, larger power needs, and therefore the investment versus returns is a completely different story because of the volume that you're talking about. This is a game changer for a business like this.
It really is. The returns now are viable and they make sense for commercial, and that's why we've seen the commercial market do this over the last few years. Residential has made sense for a long time, but now commercially, these properties, these businesses, they're paying really a lot of money for their power. So now the ROI's come down a lot, and now we're just starting to see that the batteries are really becoming viable. You know, the ROI was really high on the batteries. We've seen the price of batteries really come down. The components are a lot cheaper, and a lot of people are using power at night time, so it certainly makes sense for them.
I love this ROI, which is obviously return on investment. You've got to dumb it down for me, mate. mate. But it is important because we talk about how much we're, on other things in a house or even in a business, their costs. This is definitely an investment because it has an end date where it's paid for itself and then you're in positive territory. So that's what we're talking about. Basically, the more power you're using, it makes that investment a quicker return.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, we're now starting to see governments get involved, offer a few extra incentives, things that can bring that return on investment down a little bit. They're starting to see the benefit of energy storage, not just for the homeowner or the business, but also for the energy grid. Our infrastructure is limited, and every time someone puts solar with batteries on, it actually doesn't just help them, but it helps the grid as a whole as well.
It's a big system now where we're all enticed at the beginning of the solar story, get these batteries, well, not even get batteries, get solar and sell it to the grid and make money. Now, because those costs, it's changing a lot around Australia, it makes sense for people to get batteries. You've definitely seen that uptake, I'd expect.
Absolutely. The early adopters, they were getting these huge feed-in tariffs and they were actually able to make money, but the system costs were 5 times higher, 5-6 times higher. Now what we're seeing is the cost of the equipment really, really low. The return on investment is actually better. They're not making money, but it's all about self-consumption and how much you can save and becoming sustainable.
And that makes the investment in the batteries in addition to the solar now make sense because you are creating all of this power to then store it instead of selling it because you're not getting much return. It's better to store it and use it for yourself. So that makes the battery combined with the solar panels a better sort of viable opportunity for people.
Yeah, 100%. And when we were seeing the power cost really, really low, the batteries didn't really make sense from an economical point of view. Now the price of the batteries is far lower. Economically, it's viable. And then in addition to that, you get extra features like backup power. So for example, if the power ever cuts out here, the backup will turn it on instantly within 10 milliseconds and the business or the homeowner are unaffected.
Well, that's really important here because they've got fridges and all of my ice creams are in there and my cheese and all, of course, my fresh fruit and veggies. So that's really important for a business even more than a family. If I lose power, I just can keep the fridge closed and I should be all right. But here, it's a huge waste, which is costs. Like it's a big difference.
It's a big difference and they can't afford to be without power for even a minute. And there's a lot of other businesses out there that are also critical. They can't afford to lose power. And so when you've got hybrid inverters and you've got backup power, you've got batteries, it just ticks all of those boxes.
I know that you guys are good. We have a great story. I know you do a lot with education, with kids, the next generation. I've been part of that and it's amazing to see. But apart from the business side of things, it must just excite you when you see a family business like this. You've got 2 brothers and their dad, and they're being able to transform now. They're being able to invest, make money, and then use that money with even increasing the business with things they're going to change internally. It's a really exciting thing to see, that Aussie business story growing and benefiting from technology.
Yeah, certainly the family business. It's one that we really respect, we appreciate, we love what they're doing. Not only are they making their business more economically viable, but they're also making a big difference. And it's something that, we're really passionate about, whether it's the eco-smart kids or whether it's, educating anyone about solar and climate change. We're trying to go a little bit further than just simply selling some products. Yeah, we're trying to make our difference, but we're actually really trying to drive the transition to renewables and really, I suppose, lead by example.
It's great. It's a really good story, mate. And here this cage is protecting it because trucks are coming, but I expect it's also stopping all the sun from baking on the units as well. So it's a sort of a win-win.
Absolutely. Anytime you're dealing with electronics, the biggest cause of failure, if it's ever going to fail, is generally heat. So anytime you can protect it against heat is certainly a bonus. Having said that, the product is IP65 rated for the inverter and IP55 for the batteries, but anytime you can protect it against the sun and the elements is always going to extend the longevity of the system.
Great to see, Dean. It's another great story, mate. Love your work.
Good on you. Thanks, James.